Good morning, folks of the Facebook land and Insta land and wherever. It is a Friday morning, chilly here in North Carolina, but not as cold as my friends in Minnesota, where it hasn't even hit zero yet today and probably won't. You have my sympathy. Move to North Carolina. Anyway, I did something this week for the very first time, and it's part of my long range plans, and that is I quit working part of my week. Up until now, for the last almost 5 years, I've worked 3 days a week at the Medical Massage Clinic of Durham, and 2 days a week were devoted to the Healing Arts Business Academy, the teaching, the writing, all of that. So 60% to business or to massage, 40% of my days to writing and teaching. Effective this week, I dropped one of those days. So now 40% of my energies and time go to hands on massage, and 60% is now available for the Healing Arts Business Academy, the writing, the teaching. Because I'll be 62 this year. I know, you'd never imagine it, except for maybe all the white hair. And I would like to stop doing hands on massage therapy by the time I'm 65. Some of that's physical. I got a shoulder that, gripes at me. I'm starting to feel it in my hands. They get stiff. Occasionally, in the middle of working on necks, I will have to shake out my hands. It's just time. It's time. It will be next month. Will be 22 years I've been doing massage. It's time. And I've been thinking about this for quite a few years. How do I want to do this? And when I finally stop doing hands-on work, sometime in probably the next 2, at most 3 years, then I will be semi-retired. That is, I will only work on the Healing Arts Business Academy, but I'm only going to do it half time because I'll be over 65 and I don't want to work that hard forever and ever. How's it going to end for you, your hands on career? Now, some of you may hear that and go, okay, calm down. You don't have to quit today or anything. But we devote a lot of our energy and attention into starting a practice, building a practice, maintaining a practice, maybe growing it depending on what we're doing. We don't talk a lot about how do we end it because everything ends unless you plan to die at the table, which I don't recommend. That's going to be really upsetting to your client. And some of you are just not people that like to look down the road into the long term. You're just not. You kind of roll with things as they come. And you may be in a financial position where it's really hard to think about that because something I've come to realize recently is self-financing, I mean solely self-financing your retirement is really, really difficult and needs to start when you're like 22. Anyway, how do you want your practice, your life as a massage therapist, to finish? Cleanly, smoothly, nicely, maybe with a party? Do you want to sell your practice? Do you want to just quit working for other people one day and start gathering Social Security or whatever? Do you want to, or imagine yourself moving into a different career? Do you want to someday just close the doors? How do you imagine coming to that end? And depending on how you imagine things ending is going to affect how you imagine the sort of setting up and growing and maintaining and maybe growing some more. Have you thought about it? Because, like, if you imagine one day I'm going to sell this practice, well, then you have to set up a certain kind of practice. And it can't be just a one person practice. Those are almost impossible to sell. So if you want to sell a practice, you have to build a multi therapist practice or a wellness center or something like that. Do you want to at some point quit working for yourself and doing all of the work that's involved in being self employed and go to work for somebody else and then at some point be able to walk away because you've reached a certain age or a certain amount of income or whatever? Do you want to do this work until you can no longer physically do it? Well, then you have to be a superstar about making sure your body, your mind, and your spirit can keep doing this work. And I don't just mean body mechanics. Do you want to move into a second career? Or, if it was somebody like me, a third career. Do you know what that other career is? What happens? How do you move from this to that? There's probably going to be some overlap. How will that work? You don't have to have all the answers today, but you should think about it. How is it all going to end? How would you like it to end? We're allowed to dream and fantasize. And my ending is not happening exactly the way I thought, but it's happening because I need it to happen. How do you need it to happen? How do you need to say, I've done enough. I've done a good job. I've made a difference. And it's time now to something else. What's that going to look like for you? January is a lot, January's got this energy of what are we going to do? What's the future look like? January's not a bad time to go, yeah, long term, what's the future going to look like when I decide it's time to stop doing this? So that's what I'm thinking about today. And that's what I invite you to think about. If you have thought about that, and you've got your plan, or you've got an idea, you've got a picture, drop it into the comments. I'd like to see what people are thinking about. And otherwise, I'm going to get back to my month-end bookkeeping. My weekly bookkeeping can take me as little as 15 minutes. Month-end bookkeeping almost never takes less than 2 hours. But it's got to be done. And then I'm going to go for a swim. And maybe take myself to lunch. I deserve it after my month-end bookkeeping. But that's it for today. I hope January's not beating you up too much. I hope Omicron isn't decimating your friends and family like it is mine. Hoping you're staying healthy. And I'll be back next week, and I will talk to you then. Take good care of yourself.